Hi guys, welcome back to another edition of Learn the Tarot Cards. Today we are going to be talking about the Emperor. I will give a couple minutes to see if anyone wants to pop on and watch, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the mantra today for the Emperor. The Emperor card is in stark contrast to the last few cards that we were talking about. And I want to read for you pull it up here on my computer, the Fool's Journey and as the Fool meets the Emperor. So give me a second, let me pull this up. Okay, so the Fool was given options by the Magician. If you recall, last week we talked about meeting the Empress was the last person the Fool met. Before that, the Fool had met the Magician, and the Magician gave the Fool the tools that he needed. He revealed the tools to him. And then the Fool visited the High Priestess, who gave him time to pause and think and decide how to develop those. And then we met the Empress last week, who gave the Fool's plans time to grow and develop and mature. So this week we meet the Emperor. So the Fool was given options by the Magician and decided on one with help from the High Priestess. He learned how to develop it thanks to the Empress. Now it has reached a stage where he must find a way to manage it. How to do this? He approaches a great emperor seated on a stone throne. The Fool is amazed by the way the emperor is instantly, eagerly obeyed in every particular at how well the empire is run and organized. Respectfully, he asks the emperor how it is that he does this, and the emperor answers, strong will and a solid foundation of laws and order. It's all very well, he explains to the Fool, to be imaginative, creative, instinctual, patient, but to control, one must be alert, brave, and aggressive. The mantra for this week, to represent the Emperor, is master yourself and you master it all. Aggressive, brave, and bold is the call. Rules and structure will guide your way, so stay focused and disciplined, come what may. So let's talk a little bit about the imagery on the Emperor card. This is not one of my favorite cards, but I think it has a solid place in the deck, and it has a solid place in the progression of the major arcana. So let's go ahead and talk about the imagery. I'll put the card up so you can take a look at it, and we will discuss. So first thing that sticks out on this card is that this is a very paternal card. This guy is in charge. This guy is a ruler. It's clear from the crown on his head. It's clear from his posture and the fact that he's facing ahead. He's very assertive, very direct. We can see that he has a long white beard. This is representative of experience and years of wisdom. This makes him worthy of listening to. The throne that he sits on is just a gray stone throne, nothing special, but on the throne is ram's heads. There are 4 of them, and these ram's heads represent a couple different things. First of all, they represent intellectual heights, determination, action. If you think about a ram is climbing the mountains. They're running head first into things. They're very determined. They're very powerful. They're very strong, and they don't back down. So, the other thing that I want to point out about the ram is the ram is also the symbol of the zodiac sign Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. People born under this sign often see themselves as the leader of the pack, and that's exactly what this card is about. It's about being a leader. It's about being authoritative and being in charge. So we have the rams, and just a note about this card compared to the Empress card. So we talked last week about the Empress card. The Empress card represents Venus. You can see, where's my pencil? Venus, the goddess of love, right here on the card. The Empress is our Venus. The Emperor is the counterpart to the Empress. So the Emperor is actually ruled by Mars, and Mars is actually the ruler of Aries. So it all kind of ties together with the ram's heads. If you look at his right hand, you'll see the Ankh, which is the Egyptian symbol of life. And if you look in his left hand, you'll see an orb. And I do apologize. I know that this is backwards. My phone, I don't know how to get it to flip correctly. So you'll notice in his one hand, he has the Ankh, and the other hand, he has the globe. The Ankh represents it's the Egyptian symbol of life. And the orb in his other hand represents the world in which he rules over. Now, if you notice, the background is in stark contrast to a lot of the cards. We often see a bright blue background or a background with a clear sky when we have cards that have a positive meanings to them. We have a black backgrounds on some of the cards when the cards have a negative connotation. So what we have here is an orange background, a beautiful orange sunset. And behind him is also mountains. So orange is the color of energy of life. And on the Empress card, we have a beautiful golden color, right? So energy of life, these warm colors, these cards both are representative of life, of parenting. Here's your mother and here's your father, maternal, paternal. And so, you know, the yellow on this card is representative of abundance. It's representative of, life, as is this one, as is this color as well. The barren mountains in the background are a symbol that this card represents, like a solid rock. There's nothing back there. There's nothing soft and cushy. There's no trees with beautiful leaves. The Empress and her garden was lush and full of plants. It was soft and it was giving and it was life-giving, and it's a beautiful card, right? So this is a beautiful garden she has. Behind the Emperor, we have a stark contrast to that. We have these mountains, and these mountains represent the Emperor, who is, stern and solid like a rock, unwavering, not soft, not cushy, not, covered in lovely leaves and flowers. I mean, he is a mountain. He is a rock. His red robe represents passion. And if you notice, on his feet and on his arms, he is wearing, can kind of see it here, see it better over here, he's wearing armor. This is, the armor is setting him as a protector. He is ready to fight, he's ready to go to battle, he's got his armor on, and if there's something he needs to fight for, he's ready to go. He's a warrior. The heart of this card is that the Emperor has wisdom that was obtained through worldly life experience. He has that been there, done that attitude, got the armor to prove it, ready to go into war, this fatherly figure. That's sort of the energy behind this card. The Emperor gives the person you're reading for permission to be aggressive, brave, and bold, and in command. It's about being in control over your environment, control over your body, control over your temper, control over your instincts, control over your love life, and so on and so on and so on. So the Emperor is a provider. He is a protector. He defends loved ones. He represents the patriarch. He can offer guidance, advice, wisdom. He demonstrates authority. He's grounded. He brings security and comfort, structure, and stability. He's a systematic thinker. He's highly organized. So if we think about, how can I explain this to you guys? If we think about the Empress being the mother, let's think about their children. Right? So the Empress, being the mother, is soft and emotional. She is loving. She is kind. She is huggy, kissy, sweet, loving, soft mother. That is fantastic if you are a toddler and you need coddled and you need a hug because you fell down and you scratched your knee. But once you become a teenager, that huggy, kissy softness needs to be replaced with a bit of sternness, with some rules, with some structure. As children grow, we need to give them different things to equip them for life. And that's where the Emperor comes in. The Emperor provides that stability and that structure, provides those rules, provides the guidance to help plan for the future and to lay out the way for the teenager. So the Empress is more of the mother figure and the mother energy that is good for, like a small child, what a small child would need. But as the child grows, it's going to need more and more of the Emperor's energy. So when this card falls into a spread and it is face up, it is reminding you to make sure you tie up all of your loose ends. You may have a strong desire to see your ideas manifest as material gain or accomplishments. The Emperor can bring opportunity that could be a foundation for that success. So with the Fool had some ideas, right, that the Magician gave him. He stopped into the High Priestess, who gave it time to develop. He hopped over to the Empress, who gave it time to mature, and now we have the Emperor, who is, helping the Fool move forward with structure and rules and understanding those things. So, what he does is he gives you the power and the desire to see your ideas manifest on a material plane. He's a grounded card. The Emperor is earthly. He's grounded, just like the Empress. He brings rules and regulations. So, if you see this card fall, it could be an indication that you need defined structure with set boundaries in your life. He respects routine, respects discipline. So these are things that this card wants to remind you of when it falls into a spread. This card also reminds you that mind over heart is welcome. You want to maintain your focus and enjoy the assertiveness and confidence that self-control and focus brings. So this is a little different than the cushy Empress card. The Emperor wants you to take confidence in being assertive and being in control and staying focused and staying right on the road where you need to be. If you can master yourself, you can master the world. That's the energy that the Empress brings to you. The Emperor will bring to you. The Emperor listens to advice of others, but will always have the final say. He has no fear of conflict, no fear of using force to protect what he cares about. So when this card shows up in a spread, it is that it might be about you or about someone else. It's basically pointing to a desire to be seen as a strong person, someone with unquestioned authority or unquestioned achievements, someone who's on the straight and narrow, someone who is, abiding by the rules and, enjoying the structure and living by the structure. This is a person who wants to be seen as an expert, as a leader, and in this kind of case, what we notice about the Emperor is he's sitting on his throne, he's facing forward, straight ahead, he's looking you right in the eye, he has no reservations, he has no fear, there's nothing holding him back, right? So basically he has whatever weaknesses he may or may not have, they're hidden. I have no idea what his weaknesses are. I get nothing but strength from this card, nothing but solid rock of a person. So, this is reminding you to focus your attention on your goals, and any weaknesses or personal doubt you have, keep them hidden. Don't let them stumble you up. If this card falls in a lay and it represents someone else, then you need to be on your toes and ready to impress, right? So the Emperor is a person who can get you where you want to go. It can get you to your end goals. They can really give you that, the Emperor can really give you a boost towards where you need to go or where you want to go. And so, when you run into the Emperor in your life, you want to make sure that you're ready to impress him. His blessing will be needed for you to reach your goals. And so just be aware when you see that Emperor and know your stuff. Show him that you can, walk the walk. You can walk that straight line, and you can stay focused and stay on your goals. When we see this card in the reversed position, we have a serious abuse of power. So when the Emperor falls in the reverse position, we have an overuse or abuse of authoritative power, a need for control or to be in control. You may see a person, the Emperor may represent, the reversed Emperor may represent someone who is throwing their weight around to try to impress people or get what they want, or assert some sort of control over people. It can also, if it's about you in particular or the person you're reading for, it can indicate a feeling of powerlessness. Perhaps the person is dealing with an authority figure or an authority. So this card can represent people, but it can also represent a government or another body, or really anything that has structure. Right? So legal matters, the court system, disciplinary actions, things like that. These are all things that the Emperor can represent. So if you run into this card and it may, what do I want to say here? It can indicate that you feel powerless, that whatever you're dealing with right now with regards to authority, it may seem like you can't make any headway. But what you need to remember is that this card in reverse reminds you that it might be a good idea to try to function within that structure that is causing you so much pain and headache, right? So once you start functioning within the structure of the authority, you will find freedom. This is a card that could remind you to avoid rebelling, deal with problems logically. It can also indicate a need to stand up to authority and know that you don't always have to go with traditional ways of doing things. So how do you tell the difference between whether or not this card in particular is telling you to function within the structure of authority versus standing up against the authority? You want to look at other cards in your spread. So if you have other cards that are indicating individual power, then it may indicate this card might point to standing up against authority. If you're pulling cards up that are more of a communal sort of working together card, then this card will point to functioning within that structure of authority. If the card is pointing towards standing up against authority, this might also be an indication that you're looking for a new job or maybe starting your own business. You just want to look to the other cards in the spread. So that is, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. So let me know in the comments what questions you guys have. And I will, one more time, leave you guys with today's mantra. Let's turn him upside down there. There we go. Okay. Master yourself and you master it all. Aggressive, brave, and bold is the call. Rules and structure will guide your way. So stay focused and disciplined, come what may. Enjoy your evening. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We are walking through all of the cards in the major and minor arcanas, so you're going to want to stay tuned for future videos. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great evening.